This is Kajol Jadhav and I am here to explain daily current affairs for UPSC Civil Services exam. United Nations Jerusalem vote. Why India voted against the United States, despite the increasing inclination of India towards the US and Israel in recent times. Why did India vote against US? What is the significance of US moving its embassy to Jerusalem? How did Israel and Palestine respond to the Trump's move? What is so contentious about Jerusalem's status? What is the nature of Israeli-Palestinian conflict? GS Paper 2. Effect of policies and politics of developed and developing countries on India's interests. In this video, you can find detailed answers for all the above questions. The above article has been retrieved from hindustantimes.com, dated December 25th, 2017. What we are providing here is just a 10% sample out of the full-length video. Visit our website iasvideos.com to join the course and to unlock all videos. We offer this pen drive course cash on delivery on Amazon.in too. Amazon will deliver our course to your doorstep. What is the context about? The US suffered a symbolic defeat in the United Nations General Assembly, which voted 128 to 129 with 35 abstentions or a resolution. This defeat denounces the US decision to recognize Jerusalem as a capital of Israel. Given the increasing inclination of India towards the US and Israel, speculations were rife that New Delhi might abstain from voting in the UN. But India became one among many friends of the US who voted against its administration's decision. What is so contentious about Jerusalem's status? The status of Jerusalem goes to the heart of Israel's conflict with the Palestinians. The city is home to key religious sites sacred to Judaism, Islam and Christianity, especially in East Jerusalem. Israel occupied the sector previously occupied by Jordan in the 1967 Middle East War and regards the entire city as its indivisible capital. The Palestinians claim East Jerusalem as the capital of a future state. Israel occupied the sector previously occupied by Jordan in the 1967 Middle East War and regards the entire city as its indivisible capital. The Palestinians claim East Jerusalem as the capital of a future state, and according to 1993 Israel-Palestinian peace accords, its final status is meant to be discussed in the latter stages of peace talks. Israeli sovereignty over Jerusalem has never been recognized internationally, and all countries, including Israel's closest ally, the US, maintain their embassies in Tel Aviv. Since 1967, Israel has built a dozen settlements home to about 200,000 Jews in East Jerusalem. These are considered illegal under international law, though Israel disputes this. If the US recognizes Jerusalem as Israel's capital, it will put it out of step with the rest of the international community. What is the nature of Israeli-Palestinian conflict? Israeli-Palestinian conflict is the ongoing struggle between Israelis and Palestinians that began in the mid-20th century. The conflict arose due to ongoing Israeli occupation on the West Bank and the Gaza Strip reaching 50 years. The key issues are mutual recognition, borders, security, water rights, control of Jerusalem, Israeli settlements, Palestinian freedom of movement, and Palestinian right of return. Despite a long-term peace process, Israelis and Palestinians have failed to reach a final peace agreement. What is the significance of US moving its embassy to Jerusalem? If the United States moved the embassy to Jerusalem, it would mean that the US effectively recognizes Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. That would overturn 70 years of international consensus and, many argue, would effectively signal the end of moves to achieve peace between Israelis and Palestinians. How did Israeli and Palestinian respond to the Trump's move? The Israeli government has lauded Trump's pledge to follow through with the embassy move. Palestinian leaders are adamant that an embassy moved to Jerusalem would be a violation of international law and a huge setback to peace hopes. Despite the increasing inclination of India towards the US and Israel in the recent times, why did India vote against US? India has not officially explained why it voted against Donald Trump administration's move to unilaterally settle the Jerusalem question. But India had categorically stated that New Delhi's Palestine position was independent and consistent. This was a hint that India would not vote in support of the US. India has huge strategic and economic interests in the 57 member countries of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Except 8 members of the OIC, all others are Islamic countries where Jerusalem dispute is an emotive issue. India has adopted a balancing out policy towards Israel and Palestine for long. India needed to strike a balance to maintain consistency in its Palestine policy. With the vote for withdrawal of recognition to Jerusalem as Israel's capital, India has asserted its independent West Asia policy. India has adopted a balancing out policy towards Israel and Palestine for long. India needed to strike a balance to maintain consistency in its Palestine policy. With the vote for withdrawal of recognition to Jerusalem as Israel's capital, India has asserted its independent West Asia policy.